Hey everyone, thanks for joining. I've got a special video for you today. So this is a great story out of Mesa, Arizona, and I am here with Darren, and I'll let him introduce the company, but they started as a small company, handcrafted company, just like most of you watching this channel would do, and they've grown into a large scale, fantastic story right here. So I'm gonna let Darren introduce the company, a little bit about what we do, and we're gonna take a tour of the whole facility and just talk shop while we do it.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for coming. Yeah. We've known Wade and Black Tie Barn, their trade shows. Really just great interaction, great company. We are the Soap Gal. And so my wife, Joanna Couch, founded the company in 2019. Previous to that, she'd been making handcrafted soap since about 2012. And then even before that, her and her mom had an interest in crafting and entrepreneurship, and her mom really fostered that in her. So she started at fairs, farmers markets, church festivals, and then realized, hey, people don't make their own stuff, and realized that her niche was in the private label, white label market, and just started growing her business, got some national and then international accounts, and just went from farmers markets to now we have a 44,000 square feet facility. We employ, right now we're at right around 40 employees, and we just have fun making soap and products, and just love being around good people.
Yeah, and this is one of the greatest things about this industry, and doing videos like this, collaborations with people I either know from the channel or from, like you said, trade shows, is just hearing how companies get started, and everyone starts from the same spot for the most part. There are exceptions, of course, and so it's good inspiration for others watching this to see like what things can develop into. And if this seems overwhelming, you don't have to develop it into something so large, but a lot of people really like to see how things start, how they grow, learn about scaling, talk, all the details. So
yeah, and that's what I love about this community is the friendship, right? That's built from it, and the sharing of information, and people bring their skill sets and to the table, and we just compare notes. So it's really a great community.
Yeah, it is. Well, I'll let you drive, and you just take us on tour and point out whatever you want to show, and then share anything you want. I'll ask questions as we go.
Absolutely. Cool. So come on in. So we are good manufacturing certified, which means that we can sell globally. So soap is classified as a cosmetic everywhere else except the United States.
Yeah, a lot more regulations everywhere
exactly.
else.
And so the US is catching up, and so through what's called MACRA, which is the regulating of the industry, we have gotten a head start on that. And so they are catching up, but we primarily focus on soap, bath bombs, shower steamers, and then some dotted line through lip balms, lotions, salves,
related items.
Yes. But our main key is the bar soap accounts for about 80% of our product, and then candles for an additional 10. And then the another 10 is bath bombs, shower steamers, which is a growing segment in the market.
Now, the first thing that caught my eye was the custom partition walls you guys built. And obviously stamped yourself or painted or however you want to call that, but so that's a really cool addition.
Joanna has a background, once an entrepreneur, always an entrepreneur. And so Joanna has had several businesses. One of her businesses was faux finishing. And so whenever she goes into a space, she wants that space to be enjoyable for herself and for others. And so she put her own personal touch with bubbles on the wall.
Yeah, that's the first thing that caught my eye. And it's cool that you can take a giant warehouse space and then still kind of customize it and make it like on brand. That's
and we have a great builder. Any wall that you see that's not exterior, he has built. So cabinets, walls, shelving has really made it feel more homey in a way.
This is cool too. Everyone's got their locker room basically.
So part of the GMP certification means that your street shoes cannot enter into the production facility. So we offer free steel toe shoes for our employees. They switch them out at the beginning of each shift, and at the end of each shift, they go back into their street shoes. And very important in Arizona, we do water. So I think today it's
110 a few minutes ago before we got here. So
and that's at what, 540?
That's crazy.
Come in. We are awesome. We have a great team, and we want people to mirror that. So this is our production facility. It's 44,000 square feet. our first facility was 1,500 square feet. Then we moved into 4,500, and then we moved into 33,000, and then 45,000. We acquired some space on the other side here, which used to be Sparklet's Water, and they moved out. We were able to sublet some of that space.
Yeah.
So we've experienced phenomenal growth where most businesses would shut down in COVID. It actually exponentially increased our production because soap is classified as a essential
yeah.
business. And
Well,
so-
that and you know there were a lot of businesses that did take off during COVID, but didn't handle it really correctly, and so they got a big boost, but then didn't adjust when COVID ended,
Yes.
and they flatlined and went out too. So there is a small percentage of companies that either saw growth and then survived, or started and then flourished. So
Yeah, we were one of the fortunate ones. We were passing out permission slips to our employees stating, "You are an essential worker, come to work."
Yeah,
So it was fortunate. So we're going to start here where it all begins in the molds department. So we're just going to kind of come around to this back side here. So each one of our soap molds is 130 pounds of soap that's produced, which can yield anywhere from, let's say, 330 bars all the way up to 780 bars for more of the hotel size soaps.
Wow.
So these are currently being cleaned. They're put together and lined. You can see here, this is the unlined. We have a mold release that's put on the outside and the bottom, and then freezer paper is stuck to the mold.
Oh, okay.
And so what that
Make it
does
pop,
is it allows easy separation of the molds to be recycled back into being re-cleaned.
Yeah.
And then the freezer paper is able to be taken off and the soap cut.
It's a good process. You guys, how are you cleaning those here? Just commercial?
We have a commercial, like a degreaser, water, and scraper.
Yep.
Basically is how we do it. And the molds never touch the actual soap.
Yeah.
So
you got the liner.
it's all the freezer paper, the clean liner. So this is our compounding department, and we actually had to contain it because micas, powders, pigments go airborne. And so what we were seeing before we had it is
Settling dust everywhere.
Micas would be black, micas would be just everywhere on the other side of the plant, just everywhere you can see would be micas.
I wouldn't have even thought of that.
This is our compounding room. And so this is where we do all of the airborne products. We turn on the vent and batch that out. Our production lead, Mikey, just had a birthday and she loves Buc-ee's, everything Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
And so we had a little Buc-ee's birthday party for her, but we really enjoy our employees. You know, some leaders say the employees are here for me. I say we're here for the employees. Yeah. We couldn't do it without them, and we just really, really appreciate their contribution to the company. Yeah. So that's compounding. On the outside of compounding, we have the fragrance and essential oil filling station here. And what we do is we kit. So if we have 100 blocks, if we have 1,000 blocks, we'll make that many batches. Or if we have a certain run, we'll do a certain number for the day. And then that makes it a lot easier for our soap makers to produce.
Quite the setup here.
Oh yeah. It's amazing. When Joanna first started, she had a vision board. And on that board, she wrote, I want one cutter, and I want one hand cutter, and I want one of this, and two of that, and three of this. And she wrote it down on the board. And I think that's so important. Whether you write it down or you visualize it, there really is something to that, to where now we have 6 cutters, and this thing has just grown so much. And we have a little cutout, I'll show you upstairs, of our first, I joined it in 2019, Joanna built the groundwork for years, but just of our beginnings. And so I think in addition to visualizing, it's important to remember your beginnings and always stay humble. So
well, that visualizing helps not only give you goals, but keep you more accountable too. And every day you come in seeing it, you can only see something up there for so long without hitting that before you start feeling like we got to step it up.
Yep. And Joanna, people say, did you ever think you'd get this big? And Joanna said, absolutely.
Exactly.
She had a vision of growth.
Mindset.
And she went with it. So
that's awesome.
I
remember the first time I talked to you guys ever. I met you, and then the story of how it started it was pretty cool. So
yeah, it really is. It's great. So the molds compounded. The next is the oil batching. So We batch oils large scale. Depending on the customer specification, we'll batch out the percentages of whether it be olive, coconut, shea, castor, jojoba, argan. We have companies that use very, very nice high-end oils. We have companies that use less expensive oils, but they're all food grade.
Yeah.
And so we don't skimp on that.
And you create custom soap blends, or is it one base recipe across the board?
No, it's customized.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
That's what you were saying with the, gotcha.
That's one thing that Joanna does a phenomenal job. Her and her R&D team is the customization of product and companies. If a company tailors to a certain demographic or market, she'll have ingredients that are tailored to that demographic or market. And so they're
awesome.
very specialized in not only creating soap, but creating unique soap for different customers.
Yeah.
So where it's very unique. And so this is the oil batching area here. So we're gonna turn around here. This is where the soap is made.
So just out of curiosity, or I'm sure people are curious that are watching, how many pounds of oil in one of those?
Each one of those is about 2,000 pounds to 2,500 pounds, depending on the oil. Some oils are heavier than others, but right around 2,000 pounds, I would say, for each one.
And how many different do you carry? I say maybe on a regular basis.
The base of any soap recipe is going to be a coconut, olive, castor, and palm. Palm is sometimes people do use it or do not use it, but a good soap base is going to be coconut, olive, and castor as the trifecta.
What about on the fragrance side? How you guys do you carry just a huge assortment, or is it very obviously? I'm sure you change with trends and seasons.
It really depends, because some customers will say, I have a fragrance house that I want you to use, and we're more than happy to do that. We have marketing firms that say, hey, I have a lot of money, I just need a product to sell. And so then we customize a formula for them, or if they say, hey, just give me a good soap, we know how to do that.
To you, right?
We can customize it. So it really depends on the customer. We have great relationships with fragrance houses and a local essential oil house that just does a phenomenal job for us.
Awesome. So would you consider like a row like this one batch? Or is this several batches?
It can be several batches. So part of the good manufacturing practices certification means you have to keep track of every raw material that you use. So this row here can have up to 3 different batches, because maybe the coconut oil lot changed, so that's a new batch.
Sure. Okay.
Or the fragrance, or the mica, or something in that recipe.
And you're doing
changed.
end-to-end traceability, I assume, for that.
Full traceability in-house.
Yeah.
Not only that, but another part of the process is the beginning, middle, and end of each lot gets 1 bar taken back and pulled, and we keep that for up to 5 years for our retains.
Yeah.
So just in case there's a quality issue.
Exactly. And for anyone watching that's not familiar with traceability or just getting started, the purpose of that is for quality control, but also for situations that might come up where you might have to do a recall, or there's any scenario where you need to be accountable for what's you've put out there. And end-to-end traceability is required in a lot of practices, but even when it's not, it's a good idea.
Right. And especially as people start to scale and want to go into like a Walmart or a Target or a Costco, even Walmart online, or some of these channels that are online now, they require that as a good manufacturing lot traceability.
So have you, what would be a situation, for example, or like how would it be handled if you're obviously tracing your batches here, you know what was in this batch, you got the traceability on this, but when it gets to Walmart or Target, for example, is that product they're getting having some kind of reference number for you to tie back here?
Yes.
And then that way
absolutely.
you can keep it all. Gotcha.
Absolutely. So when we pack it, we put a lot code on each box or each wrapper, each sticker, depending on how we package the material. And so that lot code directly reflects all of the raw materials that were used, and then the lot numbers for those raw materials.
And then at that point, once the retailer has it, it's up to them to track where that product goes on their shelves, because they break down those boxes, they stock it everywhere. And so it's up to them to know how to track it internally once they've got it, in order to really complete the end-to-end traceability. But you've done your part the best that you can.
Yes, and so we actually had a customer that had a soap that had something wrong with the soap itself. and they said, hey, you need to fix this. And we were able to pull our retains and say, actually, it's the way it was stored. And we were able to prove that, back it up, not to say you're wrong and I'm right, but to really get to the bottom of, get to the conclusion
Sure.
of this.
Well, that's
is
the
why
ultimate
it
goal of
has the
traceability,
issue.
is to find out what the issue was, not to point fingers. It's
Exactly.
to find the problem. Yeah.
Exactly.
And most
So-
people are on the same page with that. I mean, you're always going to have people that want to point the finger, but ideally you're trying to get to a mutual understanding of what happened and how to fix it.
Yes.
So when you're pulling a bar of soap from each one of these batches for traceability, you can end up with a lot of stock for that purpose,
We
right?
we have a full room full of the beginning, middle, ends. Now, some of the customers want us to retain them ourselves. Some of the customers will take that to their outside facility or their storage facility and ship it to them, palletize and ship it to them.
So when you're doing the end-to-end traceability, it's on your finished product, though. You're not necessarily taking a sample of every oil and every
we do that
fragrance
too, actually.
separately.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so individual components plus
Yes. Yeah, we have full filing cabinets full of micas that have just half an ounce, so we can compare color to the next batch. If we get let's say a red mica, we want to compare the previous batch to the current batch. And so if that's off, we just had a situation today where there was an extract versus a powder. Two totally different things.
Yeah.
And so we were able to pull the retains from the previous run and say, okay, this isn't right.
Yeah.
Shut down the facility, say, okay, what's going on? We were able to save not only the customer getting the wrong product, but save countless hours of rework
Sure.
or time in
money,
remaking the product.
Yeah. So obviously that's important in every element that you do, but for a lot of people watching this, they're candle makers as well, and that's why all these waxes and oils you're buying have lot numbers and things, or you should be sampling them first and testing against the baseline, because oils can change.
Yes.
No wax slots, 2 wax lots are the same. They're usually close enough where you can't tell the difference, but there's
Exactly.
always a tiny bit of acceptable variation or variance,
Yes.
they call it, and our job as makers and companies to make sure that we're checking that and doing our own quality control. Now, where it gets tricky, you just gave an example, is things that are colored, like dyes, micas, oils even. You might pull a sample, but those samples will change color over time too. And so it's hard to necessarily know what's normal change versus what could be bad,
Well, and for example, we've made hundreds of thousands of candles, and we had a relationship with Hallmark where we made their product, and we had a wax that had too much water in the soy crop.
Yeah.
And so had a huge recall. At the time, we were not GMP certified, so we didn't have as much recourse because of the lot traceability. We were just getting into the game.
Yeah.
So those kind of situations is why it's imperative, even if you're not certified, at least keep the lot records as if you were.
Sure, yeah. You
until
can
get that
do the
way.
right things without having the right paperwork yet.
Exactly.
So you don't have to be
Yes.
certified to be acting as someone who is certified.
Yes.
So that's important. And start doing quality control and organization from day one. That'll save you a lot of time and headache later.
Absolutely.
In a situation like that with wax, like you said, that's a fairly common issue with organic waxes like soy waxes.
Yes.
They're not super stable or consistent. So was that the wax company that did the recall, and then that passed down to you, or was it you that did the recall?
It was
based off your
the
findings?
company that told us, hey, this is the problem, this is the situation.
Yeah.
But no, it's very important for our quality. We have 3 people on our quality team that just really focus on the lot traceability and really
good.
making sure that our employees are not only safe with the products we use, but that our consumers safe as well.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we went on a big
No,
rabbit hole
this
there.
is great, man. I love talking safety and compliance, and that's great.
There's not many of us that do, though.
No. So this is our sodium hydroxide 50/50 solution. So what this does, it is a corrosive and it is a caustic, and it what's called saponifies the oils and makes it into soap. And so this is a 50/50 solution of a liquid base and the lye that has been dissipated in the liquid. And so this tote is 3,500 pounds of the caustic. And so it's, like I said, very corrosive. We have proper PPE with the full face mask and corresponding aprons and steel toes and whatnot. So it's pretty critical that we be safe around it.
Yeah.
These tanks are actually on scales, and the scales distribute exactly what's needed for each batch. So we are completely consistent down to the pound, where before we would have floor scales, and then if we overdid, we'd have to pour it out and then pour it in, and pour it out and pour it in. So this is very accurate. So there's 4 tanks. We set the tank that we're on, hit the start button, and it automatically dispenses. This actually counts down.
I was gonna say, it must count down.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So forgive our tilting pots, but these are actually just on a swivel. And when we fill it, we add all of the micas, powders, pigments, clays, essential oils, whatnot. And through the process of mixing with the sodium hydroxide, it becomes like a texture like a creamy peanut butter, a little bit lighter than that. So
You had me at peanut butter.
yeah, I'm getting a little hungry, so that's the peanut butter reference. So once we get to a certain consistency or thickness, we just tilt the batter into the tilting pots.
That is a good idea.
And then we scrape it out and wash, rinse, and repeat. These are our big milkshake blenders. So our customers are able to say handcrafted because one mixer, one operator, we've just been able to scale grandma's recipe.
Exactly. It reminds me of, because I got questions, I don't know if you saw the video I did where, because I purchased a Cougar pumper. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
We have 3 of them.
You have 3 of them,
Yes,
right? And
yes.
it's the exact same concept. And I had a lot of questions when I first put that video out. They said, well, this is no longer, it's not handcrafted, that's machine or automated. You know, it's not automated.
Exactly.
It's still one person. It's just instead of you pouring out of a pitcher, you're using a wand, but it's still one person doing the entire operation. And that's actually the benefit of that versus football field run lines.
Well,
right?
and it's a great thing for the end consumer because you're getting a consistent product, well mixed, where if you do the pitchers, you got to mix 3 or 4 times while you're pouring
just to keep
get
it
the
distributed.
consistency of the fragrance versus wax ratio.
And those Cougars, they mix while it's filling. So it's literally always micro mixing all the time.
Exactly. Well, it injects the scent in the wax and completely mixes.
Gram by gram. I mean, you can't get more mixed than what it does.
Yeah. That's my happy place is those Cougars.
Oh,
I love them.
They're nice. So, I mean, they take a little getting used to at first if you've never owned one. And as soon as you figure it out, you're like, I can't use anything else.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And the fact that it's handcrafted still is what the selling point is for that too.
Exactly. We also use it for melt and pour soaps as well.
I was going to ask melt and pour soaps, and I've seen people use them for obviously wax melts, clamshells. I think I've seen them use them for some other bath and body products.
We've actually done small runs of deodorant with
deodorant. That's chapsticks. I've seen chapsticks.
Yes,
too.
chapsticks as well.
It's crazy because you think all those little tubes, how a pain in the butt that would be to, you know, how it is. Now they make other ways to do that pretty easily.
Yes.
But the fact that with the pumper you can dial it in, it just fills everything exact.
And that's the key. People say, "Oh, I could never afford this piece of equipment," but you start thinking about your return on investment. Start thinking about how much time it takes to save in labor and how much it frees you from doing that particular thing over and over and over again with the pitcher.
I had return on my investment on my Cougar in the first month.
Yeah.
That quick.
Wow.
And I bought it during the most expensive time you could have got it, which was during COVID. And everything was about 30% more.
Yep, absolutely. So that's the soap making process. So after the soap has been poured, it sits for 48 hours. What happens with the soap as it heats, you see some cracking. Now it depends on the soap that we run. Some of them don't crack at all. Some of them you see little micro cracks here. So what that does, it heats up so much, similar to baking a loaf of bread, it has to expand somewhere. So it expands up. And so all of these on the top, on the bottom, and some of the sides, we donate. And so this last year, we made almost 11 million bars of soap.
Wow.
And out of that 11 million, about 12% of the 130 pounds blocks gets donated around the world.
That's cool.
And so we've had partnerships with Eco Soap Bank, and what they do is they take the soap and they ship it across the world and they re-mill it into fresh bars, and then people use it to support their local villages.
That's
Not only that, but there's people around the world, kids who still have never used soap.
Sure, yeah.
Which is just mind-boggling.
Yeah, and to be able to provide it with no waste.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
but it's saving lives, and so we're really fortunate to work with great organizations
That's
like
great,
that.
yeah.
And Convoy of Hope is another one that we're heavily involved with, along with some local charities and shelters, women's and men's shelters. We donate to. So it's just it's a great give back, and it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Harbor Freight special.
Yeah. Yep.
We called one day. We had just gotten a huge PO, and we said, "Hey, how many dollies do you have?" And they, "Oh, we have quite a bit." And we said, "No, how many? We want all of them." So,
Well, how many? There's no wrong answer.
yeah. So once the soap is cured enough to cut, which is about 2 days, in August it gets really humid around here, so it may take just an extra day.
Sure.
So what we do is we put the block up onto this shelf. We have a crane that comes and picks up the block, puts it on the
crazy.
shelf.
That's how you know the blocks are pretty big.
Yeah, 130 pounds. I've yet to have anybody lift them, and if I did, I'd tell them to stop.
Yeah, exactly.
So they get put on, the all threads get taken off, they get recycled back into cleaning. We push that in. I'm not sure if the air is on. Yeah, the air is on, good. So we push it in, we bring and it cuts
Hydraulic
28
cutter.
logs. I know, I feel so powerful.
That's insane.
Hey, we cut 28 to, I believe it's around 40 logs of soap. And so, don't tell my quality, I'm not wearing gloves. But this is a lavender soap. This is actually our in-house brand, the Bubble Factory.
Oh, okay.
Shout out Bubble Factory.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Sponsored video.
yes. And so what we do then is we cut it, hand cut it into the bars itself. You want to cut one?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Do you guys have room in your luggage?
Yeah.
Do you like lavender soap? Yes. Okay, this is yours. All right. This is next level, man. Lavender lemongrass essential oil.
Oh, yeah. I love lemon. I can't get enough of lemon.
I actually shave with that soap.
Oh, my
Okay,
gosh.
so go ahead and
Camera woman
there you go.
doing some soap
Go ahead
cutting.
and hold that. I'll move out of the shot.
So
what you need to
line
do-
it up firm against the wall.
You just need to line it up to where you get the best yield, okay? You see how there's some scrap here, there's some scrap there. So you want a little bit of scrap there, a little bit of scrap there, because you know that's going to be the best yield. Okay, so go ahead and take it, bring it down.
Firmly. Nice.
And what you got to do as a soap maker is you got to take one bar out of the middle. One bar out of the middle, and then just show the camera and say, how beautiful.
Inspect. Approved.
Okay?
Awesome.
So we'll come back through and pick that up.
Cool.
This is my favorite bar of soap that we do have. I'm not partial just because it's ours, but it is
here.
a great bar of soap. So we do make for some local soap companies, obviously national and international as well. So similar to a hole in the wall, you're able to putty it, right? We do the same with soap.
Okay.
Because with private label and even wholesale, some of your people will understand, it's much better to fix a candle than it is to re-pour it.
Sure.
Right? If there's a big hole, you melt it. Well, with soap, you can actually kind of plaster in fresh soap into to a bar of soap and fix a hole, a crack, a crevice, something like that. And so,
Same process, basically.
yep. So we do that, and that's what's done in our reworks department here.
So after all the soap is cut, there's someone inspecting each bar, and if they notice ones,
Exactly. Exactly. It's either caught in our reworks, this we just got this last week. We're incredibly excited about it. It actually is able to produce up to 120 to 150 cartons a minute.
wow.
Current speed now is around 60 to 65 soap boxes a minute.
Now, is it configurable, or is this designed to make
It
your
is
specific one?
configurable. So
Wow, that's insane.
we have templates that we
crazy
have
they do
in
that
the
in-house.
front and the rear. The actual soap channels adjust.
Wow.
All of them adjust at the same time to allow for larger or smaller bars of soap.
So I am familiar with larger brands,
Yes.
both on the soap side and especially on the candle side, that are what would you say? The last one we visited was probably probably 10 times, probably 20 times this size. They don't even do that in-house.
Yeah.
That's rare to do that in-house. And so that's really cool that you guys do that.
It is. We can produce, just with this machine, with 6 people, we can do 4 pallets of soap every day.
Wow.
So
now I'm jealous.
This was just a huge win for the company, something that we're able to offer our customers, potentially lower their price or increase our profits.
Sure. Yeah, either way.
So this was goals.
Now this was custom built?
This was custom built for our needs, yes.
That's cool.
Yeah. The components are, you can see elsewhere. It's just the way that they put it together was custom, and it took about 11 months through planning and
I can't even think of like the engineering behind how to do this, but that's
well,
awesome.
It's a family-run business, and the dad owns a company, and the kids work it, and they're both just brilliant. He came to set it up, train our operators and our maintenance crew how to use it. So
that's really neat.
Yeah, and another thing, just really visualizing how far do you want to go, how much do you want to grow. One of the best comments Joanna said that she's seen online is, "Thank you for showing your facility to me to know I don't want to be that big."
Right. That's why I said that at the beginning of the video. Like at some point, I'm good where I'm at, right?
Yes.
And that's totally fine. You need all these different sizes, but it's something like this where you're like, man, you know, you've reached a level where it's like, maybe it's too much for me, which is totally okay.
Yeah, but no, we do have plans to scale, to grow.
Sure.
And
you guys got a good process down, so you figured out scaling's the hardest part, I think, for any company. Getting started is probably first, and then learning to scale is difficult, and you can get overwhelmed pretty quickly.
I've read that the first million's the hardest to make.
Yeah.
The next 10's easiest.
Yeah.
So we have been very fortunate in our growth. Another one of my favorite sayings is, the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Yeah. That's great opportunity.
Yes. So another piece of equipment that actually wasn't as expensive is a box erector, and that really saved us some time as well. That's this unit over here. So it actually folds the boxes, tapes it, kicks it out.
Tapes it too.
Yeah, and then you just tape the top part. So this is where we pack all of these storefront supplies. So the soap gal gets it in trucks, and then we break it down into smaller quantities to sell for the storefront. We also do liquid fills. It's a hot mess right now. We're reorganizing, and we just bought the storefront like a couple months ago. So we're just really trying to dive in and get products added and removed for as popular or unpopular as they are. We have a liquid fill, which we currently offer. We don't have any projects right now, which is why you see it off. And then our candle line, which has become our storage for the time being.
Yep.
We're actually getting ready to run 10,000 candles for a customer. But we have our glue machine on this back end, trays for the candles, and then
I missed the first thing. What you said you had down here?
Glue machine.
Oh, the glue machine. Yeah.
Yep. And then another lock coater. This is Bubble Factory. So this is lavender lemongrass, lavender oatmeal, and lavender rosemary. So we have 4 different collections. Each collection has 3 bars of soap in the collection.
Do you sell them individually or just the collection?
We do. We found that we're primarily selling on Amazon now, and then through our own website. But through Amazon, we found that our niche is in the 3-pack. We sell individually, the profit margin goes way down.
Yeah,
so
AOV goes up. Yep. Everything's better if you can bundle them.
Exactly. Another label maker here, but this is what I'm most proud of. Our newest kind of launch is our shower steamers and our bath bombs. And so Joanna and actually Tay is our in-house bath bomb expert, and she just does such a phenomenal job of designing, decorating, painting these bath bombs. And so you can see it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It smells great.
Yeah.
She really enjoys doing it, and she's great at it. I don't know if my favorite one. is here or not.
You see the name of the fragrance, and then the art makes even more sense.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really cool. It's Japanese
No, it's
cherry
great.
blossom.
So my favorite one, again, is the lavender lemongrass in the shower steamer.
That's awesome.
Here, that's not inventoried. Go ahead and take that.
Oh, shoot. Thank you.
This space, the Soap Gal, is 44,000 square feet. The Bubble Factory actually sublets the space from the Soap Gal to store products, make products, whatever. So this is our...
And when you say sublet, are you meaning that strictly from a physical standpoint or from a financial
from
tax?
a tax
Yeah.
square footage, similar to how you
Paying
would,
rent to yourself. essentially.
exactly similar to how you would take your office out of your home,
Out of your house,
right?
right.
So we also do lotions, not a lot as much anymore, but we have tanks with beeswax, cocoa butter, shea butter, so on and so forth. And then the bath bombs are done over in this other corner here.
So the soap aspect, obviously the largest part of your business, has that always been the case? Was that because of volume, margins, enjoyment?
Volume, well, enjoyment for sure, and knowledge.
Sure.
Joanna first started with soap, and whenever she does something, she gives 100%. And she just dives in and she learns, and then learns trends and bucks the system. I mean, she'll say, okay, this is how they do it. Let me see how I can do it faster, better, less expensive with good quality ingredients, or at least provide the client with good value. So she's done that. There was a time where we were doing more candles than soap when we first started, but really realized our niche was soap. We do, don't get me wrong, we do,
Yeah, you do a lot of candles,
thousands and thousands
Well,
of
and that
candles.
was first how Joanna was familiar with me, right? Went
Yes,
through the channel.
yes.
For
Well, I think
candle
she's been
making.
following you for years,
Yeah.
just as a passive spectator. But yeah, so it's been
Very cool.
a good run.
Very impressive.
Well, thank you. We
I was glad we're able to make it out here too.
yeah, me too. We're very blessed. We really are. So I'll show you the warehouse next. So upstairs, our supervisors have the best view in the house.
Oh yeah, I see that now. Okay.
Make sure everybody stays safe and
Yeah.
active and productive. So this is the box erector here.
Oh, I was going to ask you real quick. Back in the candle pour area, I saw obviously the rollers. Is that automatic rollers, or is that you
just
moving boxes
manual,
along? Okay.
manual. The wax blend that we use solidifies pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So
Do you have to do any fans or anything underneath? You
no
don't need to?
fans, and we don't have to reheat the tops.
Oh, nice. Good.
So we
Good.
use a soy blend that works really well
Yeah,
for us.
most of those blends have a lot of those kinks worked out for you, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of wax that are awfully temperamental.
Yo, for sure. Forgive the dirt and the dust. This is a palletizer. I
Yeah.
don't know if you've used it before.
I have not, but seen them.
But you're able to turn it around. It's actually on the air bladder. So as weight is added, it goes down. So really saves on employees' backs. It's pricey, but it's worth though. It's worth it when you consider workman's comp or an employee getting hurt. Not in that order. So from 2019 to 2022-ish, we had this space here. When Sparklet's Water moved out, we were able to sublet some of this space over here along with the offices upstairs. So we'll go, it's dark, I'll turn the light on. We'll go into this space. And this is our warehouse.
Now, this is part of the square footage or an addition?
This is part of the square footage.
Okay, I was going to say,
yes.
man.
So this is where we have the warehouse and orders ready to ship out. So we use food grade oils of coconut, olive, and palm as the primary oils, and then supplement oils of like sunflower, castor, jojoba, argan, so on and so forth.
And you don't do any filling or mixing in here. You would just remove the pallet this is your stock, overstock.
Exactly, yeah. Yep, this is our warehouse, and then a maintenance shop and some herbs and micas. So yeah, this was a huge win for us because we got the docks. So these are all orders ready to go out. You can see the names. We won't divulge.
I knew who it was, but I won't include it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know when you use a product who it is. So.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. And then we have pallets of raws for these are for bath bombs, and then these are all fragrances and essential oils.
Yeah. Okay.
So these are all the empty totes, but on the other side of that is all the pallets of ends and pieces that we donate.
You see that?
We can walk out there if you want.
So what do you do with all these empty totes?
Sell them, $20 to $40 a piece for them.
Wow. And they picking them up too? Or?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they pick up. It's pretty high demand with how hot it is here. People use it for water for their livestock.
Yep.
Because again, it's food grade oil that was in it, so it's not a chemical base where you have to wash it out all the time.
Yeah.
Or not.
You know what's
able to
crazy
wash
is
it
on
out.
the outside, this goes for every building I've ever seen. They're always so much bigger than you think they are from the outside.
Yeah.
I mean, even with the new one, I mean, it looks big, but then you go inside and you're like, what?
Yes. Well, what's interesting is when we first got this building, we walked inside. We actually parked inside just because we thought it was so cool. We parked our vehicles inside. We're like, oh my God, what are we going to do with all this space? And now it's,
we need more.
Where are we going to put everything?
Same problem. Yep, totally get that. And then,
great.
but other people were like, God, you have so much space. Why do you need more? And we're like, because trust me, if you were here and you saw the operations, you would know why we need more.
Well, not only that, but OSHA regulation requires 13 feet for a forklift. And so, well, 12 feet, but some drivers, you need 13.
Sure. I was thinking 12 when he said that, but yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
So I'll show you the soap, and we actually have a pretty high demand to where we have to almost schedule pickups from competing charities that need soap. That's how much high demand bar soap is. And especially with the flooding in Texas, we donated soap to that cause as well. But this is just about a week and a half of ends and pieces of scrap.
Oh my gosh.
That's basically built into the cost. It's about 12 to 15% scrap.
Yeah. So this is all worked into your cogs and everything, your margins.
Yep. Nothing goes to waste.
Yeah, so that's awesome. That's really neat. That's so much extra soap for a week. That's just crazy.
It is. And a lot of people will say, well, can't you just repurpose it or reuse it or grind it down? Well, it's proprietary. So we take that very seriously with our customers. And so any intellectual property, we're not going to sell it or repurpose it because it's theirs. It's not ours.
Right. Well, and there's also something to be said about sometimes there's more work to going in and doing something like that versus you've got something totally ready for someone else to use.
Exactly. Absolutely. Or they have the capacity to rework it.
Right. Very impressive. Very neat.
You know,
isn't it crazy to think about like just how it started?
It's not when things are busy and there's people rushing and pallets going in and out.
Things grow before you know
it. It's not that you just kind of get caught in the mix, but it's when things like this, times like this where everything's quiet.
Yeah.
And you're able to just walk up and down.
Tours probably.
Yeah. It's like, my God, you know what? How did this happen? And not even that, but we're looking to the future for even further growth. And it's just incredible. And it's a blessing from God that we're here where we're at. It's only because of His grace that we're here. And so we acknowledge that, and we really appreciate our crew, and they're passionate about what they do.
It's nice to step back every once in a while and just appreciate what's been done, how far it's come, and even because like you said, sometimes you get caught up being so busy, it can get stressful that you don't want to lose sight of like why you're doing it and that you enjoy doing it.
Yep, absolutely. But this is really Joanna's passion. She loves it.
You can tell with the way she talks about it. It's the same as you.
Yeah.
But every time I've talked to you guys, it's always a lot of passion, interest. It's not like it's my job, I'm the boss, I just got to do it. There's a lot of passion in it.
Well, and same with you. We really enjoy our communication, and you really have a heart for people like we do, and so it really shows.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the response on this video is going to be a lot of admiration for you guys and what you've been able to accomplish and your willingness and openness with your business and what you guys do and just sharing. So, I appreciate you taking the time to do that and having us out here. I know we've talked about it and we're able to make it work talking this time at the conference.
Yeah, I'm so glad we're able to make it work.
Yeah, it was good timing. So, do you have anything else that you wanted to share? I feel like we had pretty good conversation as we were going. So.
No, we did great. And just one thing for you out there that know Wade, you know his passion, you know his heart. He's legit. He's just a straight shooter. He's a genuinely good guy in business and out of business. So you have a really good person here. Wade, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming down. I appreciate your character.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun.